Welcome to MissouriNet.com. I'm Bill Pollock. The Missouri Tigers hosting Vandy, and it's homecoming week, and this is one of those games that you looked at the schedule as soon as it came out, and you said, well, here's a win for Missouri, and despite some of the offensive struggles, a big win at Florida. We're going to talk about that game with TJ Fenske from KRCG TV. TJ, just to kind of get us started, a huge win. I think Missouri needed it, a great bounce-back win, but let's be honest, all of that was basically special teams and defense as they created 28 of those points. 28 of the 42 points comes from something other than the offense, and the offense had a pretty short field to work with, but still a good win in your opinion?
It was definitely a good win. Honestly, it seemed like what Georgia did to Missouri a couple weeks ago, Missouri did to Florida, but it's still a good win, but you could tell something was missing, and that was the offense. We talked about it media on Monday when the Mizzou meets with the media, and even the players, Coach Pinkel said, win was great, but the offense fell short, and they did. I mean, only 14 points. That's not enough. The defense won the game, special teams won the game, and you can't expect that every game. So Mizzou, great win in the swamp. You don't come away with much wins from the swamp. But offense, definitely still a concern. They did not fix that issue. Still a reason to be worried. And they knew they were missing that.
That's interesting that you brought that up, that Pinkel talked about that on Media Day, because on the Tiger Network with Chris Trevino in the postgame show, he talked about, because I saw the same things. Now I saw, at least on one of those drives, I think it might have been their longest drive of the season, where they came away with 3 points in the first half. It was like an 11-play drive, 55 yards, and even on the touchdown by Marcus Murphy, I mean, it looked like the offensive line was blowing Florida off the line, and it looked like the offensive line was playing well. And then they got that lead, they got a couple of touchdowns, and all of a sudden it looked like they kind of fell back into their pattern. But to go back to what Pinkel was saying in the postgame, he said that they really dialed back the offense, that after they had a big lead, and really up until, I know I'm jumping around here, folks, I apologize, but up until about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, Mizzou had only run 3 offensive plays in the second half. And then he said he really dialed back the offense. Basically, what he didn't want to do is make silly mistakes or have Florida's defense create some turnovers, quick points, and you turn a blowout game into something closer. So he made it seem like they dialed back the play calling and went ultra-conservative. And when I heard that, my impression was, okay, well, maybe the 119 total yards and the fact that they really didn't hold the ball much at all in the third quarter, maybe the offense wasn't as bad as it looked. But now you're saying, though, that Pinkel may have said something a little bit different at Media Day. And then another surprise, the quarterback, the face of the offense, the face of this program, doesn't even show up to face the media. What do you make of that?
Yeah, we were all waiting for him on Monday when he came. He never came in. That, I don't know if he doesn't want to talk about it, but I think he knows something's up too. And Pinkel, they may have called it conservative, just in my opinion. They probably did. And, a 42-0 lead in the third, fourth quarter. That's what you want to do. But even besides that, they did have that 17-play drive or 18-play drive in the first quarter. They got you 3 points. But besides that, I didn't see very much optimism. Besides that, there was a few, but very few that this team, show us flashes of, oh, there's that offense of old. There's that offense that we wanted. And, you're right, fourth quarter you can call it conservative. But still, there wasn't the run game wasn't the greatest. Passing game, Mock, you still kind of saw flashes of what they did against Georgia. And, there wasn't any turnovers, but there wasn't that flash that we're looking for. That's, going to say, oh, this team can go to the SEC championship game. Sure, they won the game, but the Tigers have set the bar high going to the SEC championship game last year. We know what this team's capable of, especially with Matty Mock back. You just didn't see that flash that this team could compete for championships.
Yeah, it's interesting when the quarterback, and listen, you can't hound and you can't pound, and it's not all Matty Mock's fault or certainly his responsibility, or for him to take full responsibility for why the team is struggling. I mean, let's be honest, this is college football. These are kids, and I know that we get wrapped up in it. You and I get wrapped up in it. Everybody gets wrapped up in it, but to the point where the quarterback, the guy that everyone wants to hear from, the fans want to hear from, we in the media want to hear from, when it gets to the point where he can't even or doesn't even want to face the media, that to me tells me that there's some big internal issues going on there, and that's a huge concern moving forward.
Yeah, and Mock's always at the media days. All the quarterbacks are expected to show up.
Yeah.
So it tells you something internally. The wide receivers, talked about Sasser and Jimmy Hunt, they're frustrated too. Spud Sasser, the captain, he said, being the leader of this team, he's hurt. He's hurt. This offense isn't producing. So there's something going on. They're nagging, and Mock obviously doesn't want to talk about it. He's sick of the criticism. It comes with the territory being the quarterback. But yeah, there's something internally that we're not knowing about, possibly that might be hindering this offense.
Yep, no doubt. All right, TJ Fenske from KRCG TV. Two quick things. Basically, I mean, this is how it has to work out. You've got Vandy, Kentucky, A&M, Tennessee, and Arkansas. You look at those games on paper, and you take away all the offensive struggles and whatever. Those are games that Missouri, and we talked about it, if you got through this 3-game stretch, those were 5 winnable games. At this point now, the way it's set up, Missouri has to win those games because Georgia only has 3 SEC games left. Florida, Kentucky, number 5 Auburn. You're going to need them to lose that Auburn game and then run the table in order to have 1 SEC loss in Georgia to have 2. Mizzou has to control their own destiny, and they can't have any more stumbles. Can they go 5-0? Honestly, can they go 5-0 knowing what you know about the offense and who their opponents are? Do they have enough in them to go 5 games in a row?
If the last 5 games were on the road, I'd say yes, because Missouri seems they can win on the road. They haven't won their last 2 home games. And so these games against Vanderbilt and Kentucky, you're thinking they should win, but it's at home. They haven't been done too well. They're going to need these first 2 wins. At home, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, definitely winnable games. That can definitely give them confidence going into a Texas A&M game that we thought would look real scary. Now not as scary, but I say it's slim. I think it's 50% or less that they can win out. I mean, that's tough. Going at A&M, I mean, Tennessee, it's always a tough place to play. 100,000 people watching that game. And then Arkansas, at home, that game's looking tougher than we thought, too. It's definitely doable. I've seen harder schedules for sure. But Missouri's going to have to keep improving. The way they're playing now, they will not win out. They'll have to get back to their ways of. I mean, that UCF game stuck out to me a little bit. They played well, especially in the second half. But I don't see them winning out, in my opinion.
This should be a confidence booster taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores 0-4, 2-5 on this. And they're obviously in transition. All right, one final question, TJ. Can Mizzou fans pull it off? Can they come up with the tiger striped seating? Can people actually figure out what section they're sitting in and then be able to coordinate and wear gold or black, depending where they are? Pull this off and sell the place out. It'll be a miracle because they had the Gold Rush game 2 weeks ago, and Mizzou fans still can't figure out that when it's a Gold Rush, everybody's supposed to wear gold, not gray and not black and not red and not any other color that you can come up with. You have to wear gold, and they can't get it down yet.
It's hard to coordinate.
You're too friendly. You're too friendly, TJ. And we lost his signal. I think we lost TJ just as he was. I think he was going to rip into Mizzou fans. He's probably going to be nice about it. So we'll see if his signal pops back out. But that's going to wrap things up. So we got to watch for the Mizzou offense. Can they get moving against Vandy? That is going to be the big issue. That will be the biggest question. Can this offense get on track? The fact that Mock didn't show up at Media Day, big no-no in my book. So we'll see what happens. We're going to talk with Chris Lee from VandySports.com this week to get a scoop on the Commodores, plus more Google Hangouts this week with Mizzou football. There's TJ.
I'm back.
Yep. Hey, so, all right, Tiger Stripes, can Mizzou fans pull it off?
I was being really friendly to them. I heard you say that. I'm for the people. Bill. But
you're much nicer. Nobody wants nice. We lost you again. Nobody likes nice. Look, he's gone completely. All right, I'm gone too. Thanks for watching. That's going to wrap it up here for this Google Hangout. We'll talk to you again soon here at MissouriNet.com.